أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على خير خلقه أجمعين محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أصحابهم الغر الميامين، واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. قال نبينا الأكرم محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم في وصفه لشهر رمضان وفي خطبة له عن شهر رمضان: إن الشقي من حرم غفران الله في هذا الشهر العظيم. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Respected brothers and sisters, audience listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Tonight, inshallah, we will be reflecting on the dua that we recite every night during the month of Ramadan, which reads: أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلتي هذه ولك قبلي تبعة أو ذنب تعذبني عليه. This very short dua, yet with so many meanings and with so many powerful statements that can change one's life, really. I seek refuge by Bijalāli Wajhika, by the majestic, by your majestic face of generosity, that the month of Ramadan ends or concludes, or that dawn breaks from this night and you have something, O God, O Allah, or a sin by which you punish me by. أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلتي هذه ولك قبلي تبعة أو ذنب تعذبني عليه. Very short dua. I'm sure everyone can memorize it and maybe even recite it throughout the year. I always say that when these spiritual times come, or when you get to any spiritual situation, whether you go to the shrine of an imam, whether you are in the month of Ramadan, in Sha'ban, or go to any mosque, special mosque that has certain a'mal like Masjid al-Kufa, Masjid al-Hannana, you have to leave there with something. You have to leave there with something. What do I mean? You have to have one dua from the month of Ramadan that you recite throughout the year. Dua iftitah. One friend of mine says he finds dua iftitah very special, has made an oath sort of to recite it throughout the year, not just in the month of Ramadan. The salawat of Sha'ban, for example, munajat Sha'baniyah, some dua for like myself, there's a dua that I recite in Qunut that is for the month of Rajab. That's my gift from Rajab. That's what I got away with. You go to the shrine of Imam Hussein, there is maybe one special line that is recited in the shrine of Imam Hussein, you incorporate it into your life. You recite it in your Qunut, recite it in the last sajda, something. I know some people who recite that special part of Ziyarah Ashura in their last sajda. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مصابهم الحمد لله على عظيم رزية. اللهم ارزقنا شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. Allahu Akbar. They recite that in the last sajda of every salah. You stay with something, and this keeps you connected either to that month, to that place, or that situation. You go to the shrine of Imam Kadhim, there's a special line there that, or maybe the sajda to shukr that's done there, because there's this, if I remember correctly, that's the one place that has a specified sajda to shukr that has its own method. Maybe you stay with that. Okay, in Muharram, for example, there's a special a'mal, because Muharram is a Muharram al-Haram. It's one of the 4 holy months. It's not only about Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, it's actually a time to, as Sheikh Noor said for many years, it's a time to increase your spirituality and better your spirituality and aim to attain the proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So maybe get something from each of the 12 months, the Islamic months, that you recite throughout the year. I always say this. So this dua, quite short, maybe everyone can memorize it and recite it throughout the year. Find some dua, find something in the month of Ramadan that you can recite throughout the year. Now, in one of our previous discussions, we spoke about what do you want from the month of Ramadan? What do you want from the month of Ramadan? What do you want to achieve? Or what do you want to get? What do you want to attain from the month of Ramadan? Basically, what are your goals in the month of Ramadan? What are your goals? There's a lengthy discussion there which we spoke about the month of Ramadan, why we want it, and the conclusion was everything must be taqwa, or help towards achieving taqwa, a means for you to achieve taqwa. Okay, what do you want from the month of Ramadan? Please refer to that talk, inshallah. And then this is the conclusion, though, but in detail there, how we get to that conclusion. So, there's a verse in the Quran. Before I recite it, here's a question. What do you do before doing anything? What do you say? What do you utter before doing anything? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What about before that? There's a verse in the Quran that says, وَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ. And when you want to recite the Quran, then seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why, for example, when it comes to Surah Al-Bara'a, when you recite it, again, especially the first 5 verses, it doesn't have basmala. You don't say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but you still say A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-Rajim. That's what you recite first. That's what you recite first. You say A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-Rajim, bara'atun min Allahi wa rasulihi, and so on and so forth. So that is the main important thing, you see. Al-isti'adha, seeking refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This helps you purify your intentions. This helps you make sure that even before you ask anything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or atone even from your sins, you are still doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the beautiful thing about isti'adha. Could you say, okay, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim, I seek refuge, O Allah, in you, and then you are now clean now. You can do that thing. You can now start that thing because you have purified your intentions. You have purified your thoughts for that thing. You have dedicated yourself for, no, this moment I'm going to do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. So this dua, short dua, it starts with that. A'udhu bijalali wajhika al-karim. I seek your refuge, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From what? That the month of Ramadan ends, or or dawn breaks, and you have something against me, or a sin to punish me by. This is a very beautiful statement. This is something that we should always reflect upon, and not just make it a ritual that we have to go through, but rather make it something that we live by. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. There is no dua without tawassul. No dua without tawassul. This is why the Holy Prophet teaches us that no dua will be answered without salat ala Muhammad. The Holy Prophet, or one of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. There is no dua that will be answered. There is no a'mal which will be accepted without as-salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So here, see the tawassul that we do. Very, very beautiful tawassul. Now, A'udhu bijalāli wajhika al-karim. By who do you seek? From who? How do you seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By invoking His majestic, generous face. Bijalāli wajhika al-karim. By the majestic face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of generosity. Obviously, as followers of Ahlul Bayt, we know that face does not literally mean a face that has a limited. No, it means the how we present ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are many then ahadith that tell us that so and so is such and such a thing is the face of Allah, such and such a person is the face of Allah, and so on and so forth. That's a discussion for another time. But here, it's like, okay, wajh in Arabic means face or facade or something that you face or something that you, a door, for example, door that you knock on. So the door that we are knocking on now is the majesty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His generosity. That's what we want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what we are clinging on to here. So yes, out of your majesty, out of your generosity, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not let the month of Ramadan end or that dawn breaks. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا شَهْرُ رَمَضَانُ. Do we really fathom what the month of Ramadan is when the Holy Prophet describes it and says, لَيَالِيهِ أَفْضَلُ اللَّيَالِي أَيَّامِهِ أَفْضَلُ الْأَيَّامِ سَاعَاتِهِ أَفْضَلُ السَّاعَاتِ. Its nights are the best of nights. Its days are the best of days. Its hours are the best of hours. Its moments are the best of moments. A month in which your sleep is worship, your breathing is glorification, and so on. That beautiful sermon that we should teach our children to memorize. Inshallah. That is the month of Ramadan. This is what you want Allah. You want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please, oh Allah, do not let this month end except with, maybe the month is long. The dawn must not break, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dawn must not break. The sun must not rise. Except that you have forgiven me. Except that I am sure that you don't have anything that you will punish me by. In the hadith that we started with before we go to that hadith, in the Quran also, this is an opportunity, as we always say, after saying that the fasting has been prescribed on you as was prescribed on those before you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may attain piety, so that you become pious, so that you attain taqwa. أياما معدودات. It is a limited time, 29 or 30 days and their nights. So it's a short time. This is an opportunity, golden opportunity that nobody should squander or play with. So you don't want these 30 days to end without achieving something in your lives, especially spiritual lives. Forget material, forget everything else. It's your spiritual life. Let there be a little improvement. A little continuously is better than chunks that are chopped up or that are disconnected. القليل المستمر أفضل من الكثير المتقطع أو المقطع. A little that is continuous, so this year you improve by 1%, next year by another 1%, next year by another 1%. Pretty soon your improvement will be palpable. It will be seen that, no, mashallah, this person has improved. Give it 5 years. When the Imam says, when Imam Ali alayhi salam says, or in the hadith ascribed to him, the one whose 2 days are equal is at a loss. It's not necessarily 2 cycles of 24 hours. I always say this. It's not a cycle of 24 hours. Rather, it is a time period that you have stipulated. That, okay, Shahru Ramadān 2022, I pray 17 rak'at, for example. Shahru Ramadān 2023, let there be at least that you pray the nafilah of Fajr, 19 rak'at. Add another 2 rak'at next year, add. Pretty soon you'll be praying 51 rak'at. Not a problem. That is improvement. It doesn't have to be rapid, but it has to be there. So this days, these ayyam ma'dudat, this is the golden opportunity that we have to take advantage of and use properly. And we ask Allah that, okay, maybe this month is long, this night, let not this night end except that you have forgiven me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The hadith that we started with is also in the sermon of the Holy Prophet, where he describes the month of Ramadan. He says, Inna shaqi, the miserable person, the worst person. Man hurima ghufran Allah fi hadha ash-shahr al-azim, is the one who is deprived God's forgiveness in this great month. So all the goals that you have, all the goals that you may have, in the talk I also mentioned it, that maybe some come into this month being pious already, so they need to improve on their piety. Some are just okay, so they want to become pious. Some are sinners. Some have certain things that they do that are haram. Some have certain personalities or certain weak points in their lives. You know, they have certain weak points in their lives. So the month of Ramadan is an opportunity to improve. The smallest and the easiest goals of the month of Ramadan is that Allah forgives you. You come in a sinner, you come out changed. Say, oh Allah, please forgive me. At least leave some baggage in the month of Ramadan. At least leave some baggage in the month of Ramadan. Because if you don't at least get the forgiveness, then you are shaqi. You are miserable. You are at a great loss. As this saying of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says. Just try that. Come out of the month of Ramadan better than you came in. Come out of the month of Ramadan better than you entered the month of Ramadan. That is what it's about. You came here with sins, leave them in the month of Ramadan. That's why after seeking the refuge of Allah, using the beautiful Tawassul, وَأَتَوَسَّلُ إِلَيْكَ بِرُبُوبِيَّتِكَ, I seek means to you by acknowledging your lordship, your being Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You seek that tawassul and acknowledging how great the month of Ramadan is and how short it is. that at least, oh Allah, or this morning dawn should not break, that, oh Allah, don't have anything that you hold me by, or a sin that you punish me by. That little thing. The du'as of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, as we always say, are lessons. They are not just recitals that we should recite and pass by. We should ponder upon them, reflect upon them, and see ourselves in them and make them change our lives. Insha'Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to not deprive us His forgiveness in this holy month, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to make us losers miserly by missing even just the forgiveness from Him, which is enough and great. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to assist us in our lives. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us better Muslims, inshallah, and to grant us tawfiq to perform the amal of Laylatul Qadr. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on the deceased and cure the ill and grant the needs, the legitimate needs and requests of everyone, inshallah. بسر الفاتحة, before it, Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الحمد لله